Cast. Welcome to the RantCastPodcast. We are live on twitch.tv/TheRantCastPodcast. If you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, thanks for your support. We're not live there, but we are live on Twitch. Just like we are most Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we put the uploads onto the RantCastPodcast on YouTube. Sadly, I am without my co-host tonight. TheStrangeBus couldn't make it. He sends his regrets. I'm your host, Kurgan. Shout out to all our supporters. And I'm just really tired. But we're still doing the show. I still have a few things to talk about. I know there's a lot of ugly stuff happening in the world, but I just want to focus on maybe some good things for now. There might be a few rants in here, but this is the RantCastPodcast after all, so you come to expect that. Anyway, if you're enjoying our music, it is created with the assistance of AI from Suno.com, created by none other than TheStrangeBus 2025. So we thank him for putting that together. All right, and we should be doing okay as far as audio goes. Let's turn down the music a little bit here. All right, so we got some topics tonight. If anybody does want to join me, you can actually hop into the HeroQuest fans Discord Quest Talk voice channel. But if not, no problem. I understand. We might have a little shorter show. We'll just see how it goes. That's how it is with live programming. So let's just get our screen here. Topic-wise, I basically want to talk about HeroQuest. Surprise. Got the Power Hour. And also Pathfinder Quest, because there is another game. It was brought to my attention by some people on the HeroQuest fans Discord. Thanks for sharing, of course. So this is episode 84, That's So Wizard, which you may recognize that reference. Phantom Menace. It's been a while. So first topic I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to come back to it. So HeroQuest. In the world of HeroQuest, we have a couple things. As many of you know, I've been talking about it for a while on several streams. We have this Wizard Quest Pack coming up. And Luca Paschi, head of the project, I call it the Lost Quest Packs Project. That's not its official title. I don't think it has an official title. That's what I call it. Because as I pointed out before, it is a fan effort to take these draft notes from 1992 that Hasbro left on the cutting room floor and revive them and reconstruct something that is playable of what might have been had they been allowed to finish their project. Now, none of the original people that worked on the Wizard Quest Pack or the Dwarf Quest Pack are involved in the project. So all the artwork is created, brand new, in modern day, not with AI, but just with commissioned artists. And it can't be sold because it uses the HeroQuest logos and it has fake copyright dates on it and everything. It's meant from what I understand, it's meant as a print and play, freely distributed thing. And if people try to sell it, they're going to get in trouble with Hasbro. They're going to get in trouble with Luca Paschi and the artists that they hired. So I'm looking forward to it a lot. And I've seen a lot more than the general public. I mean, I've been looking at the drafts. I've seen the play tests. I've seen the editing process. I've seen the raw, rough notes. I'm interested in it as a fan of HeroQuest history, of where the game came from. And I also, of course, love to see the ideas. What would they have put in the game? Some of the stuff, it's okay, this is kind of crappy. It's probably good they didn't release it. Other stuff, it's oh, that's really awesome. I wish they had released that. That would have been great. Or, you know what? I can use this in some adventure. This is a neat idea. So what's happening this weekend? And Luca Paschi shared this, and I'm going to share my screen here, show you some stuff from Yield In, which I love. A lot of people have told me on the HeroQuest fans Discord, oh, I don't want to sign up for this. So I'm not quite sure if they just mean like because they do everything on their phone, like a forum, like an old style forum, early 2000s forum looks bad. It's hard for them to type on it. Are they worried about security because it's like an older system, like 2008? Are they worried about getting hacked? Um, I'm not 100% sure. There is a rule on Yield In that you can't view attachments until you've posted 14 quality posts. And of course, that's completely subjective based on what the moderators think. Like after 14 posts, they promote you to a full member and you can view attachments. And the attachments are the real reason you go there, right? Because you want to download people's files, PDFs, images. Because, I mean, a lot of people, including myself, looked at yieldin.com for years and just thought, okay, well, they posted all this stuff, but they really haven't updated in, like a decade or more, like 2009. Like, really? That's it? But if you look at the forums are where people post stuff. And you could say compared to Facebook or something like that, it's not, I mean, there's probably less than 100 people on there posting actively, but it's got a lot of history. And if you dig back into it, I mean, you could find like flame wars, like people arguing about stuff. And it's not all perfect. There's a lot of dumb ideas on there, but there's a lot of like really cool stuff. There's a lot of really neat conversations, a lot of memories. So just like any other online forum, any little community, you can find a lot of cool stuff there. And there's new people joining all the time. So I would just say, I mean, a quality post is not just like, yeah, right on, I agree, something really generic like that. And occasionally you get people spamming, posting nonsense, but it's pretty decent. I like it for the content. I like being able to just run your ideas past people, even if it's kind of like a half-baked idea, and just like see people's comments on it and just kind of refine it a little bit, right? You can do that in a Discord as well, but something about a forum, it's a little easier. The stuff seems a little more permanent as opposed to like in a news feed where it just kind of disappears. I mean, yes, in a Discord you have a search function, you can find stuff, but yeah. But at the same time, I mean, the forum is subject to the owners of the forum, right? Whereas with Discord, I mean, in theory, Discord doesn't like what you're doing. They could just nuke your whole channel and it's gone forever. Nothing you can do about it. Some other platform, same deal. It's like, oh, you got to follow YouTube's policies on YouTube. You got to follow Twitch's policies on Twitch. So, yeah, you're always subject to somebody's oversight unless you own it yourself. But I think it's a little more independent. I kind of like that. And because it's not Facebook, you don't have to share your real name and all this personal stuff, that you don't mean to share by doing it. So I kind of like the anonymity of it. I mean, companies are going to get your information one way or the other, right? So why make it easy for them? So there's some advantages, but with HeroQuest news, I try to post all kinds of different places, and I try to get people to repost stuff. So if it only appeared on Reddit, well, share it with us. If it only appeared on Instagram or X or wherever, and I'll get stuff that I find really cool in the Discord, and I'll post it in Yield In. So, but anyway, Yield In is the source of some stuff. I was going to comment on Amalgamash's Quest Jam, but I think it's still in the process of being judged because I don't see the results. Like, I see the entries, but I don't see the results. So I'm not quite sure what their timetable on that is, but if anybody knows, you can let me know as far as that goes, because it looks like a lot of people contributed a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, let's get that stuff on screen and take a look. We'll talk about the Lost Quest Pack project here. So Luca Posky, word seems to be that the Wizard Quest Pack that's for the public is not available yet. And it's probably not going to be available for a little while. Now, we're already into the middle of September 2025. So I think I'm okay saying this, that it's probably going to come out at the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. And I'm like, okay, are you trying to release this at the same time as Wizards of Morcar and confuse everybody? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving him a hard time. No, It'll be out when it's out. I think what's holding things up is just the art. And there's some question of, are they going to like try to create some physical items or not? What's the feasibility of that? I personally think that's a waste of time, that part of it. I mean, just release it. Just release the STLs, just release the PDFs, the images, let people do what they want with them, right? And then if people abuse it and try to sell it, well, go after those people, shun them as a community. But just promote it in the sense of, hey, this is something fun. This is something cool. I would think personally that this is probably something that Avalon Hill would appreciate. I mean, maybe they can't publicly acknowledge it, but if it's popular, it would give them ideas too about cool things to make. I don't think it'll bring Hasbro down on fans, not at all. But that's my opinion. I'm not an expert on that sort of thing. But anyway, what we're going to be seeing this weekend, I kind of got off track. What we're going to be seeing this weekend is, I'll just quote him here. So Lukaposki says, "Hey guys, you may have heard the news. This week we'll release an intro solo quest to the Wizard Pack. It will delve into the backstory of the main quest line and will give you a taste of what's to come. You will be able to download the quest in 4 languages: English, Italian, Spanish, and German. No French? What? Okay, but anyway, yeah, 4 languages. We'll also have a round of presentation, playthrough on a few channels." Well, but if I know these guys, they're not just going to do like a machine translation from Google or something. They're actually translating it from native speakers, so that's a good thing. So maybe they just don't have a French fan yet to do it. We also have a round of presentation playthrough on a few channels. I'm already starting to lose my voice. Sorry, guys. He says, we'll start with HeroQuest Italia on 18th, 21.3 CET, and officially open the download frenzy. So that's youtube.com/@HeroQuest Italia. So that's Grog. Grog is the name of their show. I always call them the Grog guys, but HeroQuest Italia in Italian. We'll follow on the 19th, 2 p.m. Central Time with HeroQuest fans, that's us, with a playthrough of the quest. So I have some notes on that I'll be giving here shortly. We'll also get a reaction video and playthrough from LaGuardia di Morcar, that's Cristobal, youtube.com/c/LaGuardia de Morcar. I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time. LaGuardia de Morcar on the same days. So don't say you didn't know. Hope to see you this week. And then my comment was, super excited to be part of the interactive reveal. Looking forward to seeing you there. And then here's an image from the stream. So I linked this stream that Lukaposki did with the HeroQuest Italia guys like a year ago. So I'm just going to quickly show you here on YouTube. Shout out to the HeroQuest Italia Grog guys. So this was streamed February 5th, 2024. I hope you're seeing this. So shout out to them. Okay, so we're not going to steal their thunder, but I just wanted to, I was like, gee, I wonder what they said in this video. Well, lo and behold, I had all these bookmarks. So here's one. So that's Lukaposki at the bottom there presenting it. And he revealed some of the early, subject to change card art. It's changed somewhat. But it's the Wizard Circlet and the Dispel spells. So, but I talked with him and we agreed, like, I wanted to spoil way more stuff. I wanted to spoil all kinds of stuff. But if we're going to be waiting another 6 months to a year, it's like, come on. But I respect his wishes. It's like, okay, we're only going to show some of the stuff because some of the content is like only in the solo quest, but a lot of it is going to appear in the main adventure. So I don't have any of these miniatures, and I'm not sure when I would get these because these are STLs. I'd have to send them to a friend or family member to print. But anyway, that's that. So let me say a few words about the quest that I'm going to do. So I was talking about it, and I actually talked with Hispazargon because he, of course, in addition to his other many talents, is basically like one of the hardest working playtesters, at least that I've seen publicly, for the Wizard Quest pack. And he gave some recommendations. So I'm going to run this quest. It's a solo quest for the Wizard, has its own storyline, which I'm not going to spoil yet. And the thing is, though, when we play, usually we have at least 3 people that show up to play on Fridays. So we'll be starting at 2 p.m., so a little earlier. Give Luka Posky some time with his different schedule to give an introduction, maybe answer some questions, reveal some stuff if he decides to do that. So we'll already have the PDF of the file from of the solo quest from the Grog event the previous day. So a lot of people already know about it. But I mean, I'm doing my stream in English. LaGuardia de Morcar is doing his in Spanish. So we'll have Italian, English, Spanish, these 3 presentations. Where's the German? I don't know. We need to get Dungeon Master in on this. But anyway, I'll be modifying the quest based on our needs at the time, because the way we play quests, I mean, people interact with it in Twitch, using their channel points. So people buy stuff for the heroes, making it easier. People buy stuff for Zargon, making it harder, for them back and forth. And if I have a bunch of people show up, I'm not just going to say, sorry, you got to sit on the sidelines. You can't participate except through the chat, which is fine. I mean, some people like to do that, but I'm going to modify the quest. So we decided that, gosh, I don't want to spoil it. I talked about this a little bit. So let's say we have the wizard and his bodyguards. Okay. So that's kind of how it would work. So the first person who shows up, as usual, is going to get preference. You get to choose your character. Then the next person, to make it fair. It'll be kind of a one-off adventure. So we're not using stored stats from any other adventure. So it'll be interesting. It'll be challenging, I think. But if a lot of people show up, it might get too easy. So I'll be making some modifications to keep the challenge going. Let's put it that way. Because a good Zargon, I mean, HeroQuest does not require a lot of preparation, usually, unless you're playing Jungles of Delthrak or Rise of the Dread Moon. But a good Zargon knows how to adapt the adventure. An experienced Zargon, let's say, knows how to adapt to changing conditions. So you get more people, you might have to add more challenges. You get fewer people, maybe give them more opportunities to survive. And I think the Avalon Hill guys are like that too, even though they had nothing to do with this particular project. Doug would say like, oh, somebody dies like right at the beginning of the quest. It's like, let them take on another character. Why not? Give them another chance. Give them another try. Another option. Keep the heroes guessing as Argon. But if you're trying to have everybody have a good time, I mean, unless they're just like, yeah, just destroy me, don't hold anything back. It's like, yeah, you can kind of moderate how you do things. But each Zargon does what they like. So I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, that's the Wizard Quest pack. And so this intro quest will just be one, so it won't spoil the whole campaign. So all the stuff that we've been waiting for, we're still going to be waiting for. But a few things will creep in, a few features, a little bit of artwork. I mean, I've still got to print out the stuff. I've got to print out some cards. I got to print out some tiles. I got to gather some proxies that I have. But that will all have to be done tomorrow. More likely, I'll be doing it Thursday or even Friday in preparation for the stream. But Saturday, the plan is just to do just a regular HeroQuest fans stream on Twitch. So we'll be playing Jungles of Delthrak once again. Just at the usual time, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, there's nobody in chat tonight. It's pretty quiet. Just take a quick look. Yeah, just making sure we're live. We're still working. Okay, good. Stare into infinity. So the next part of the HeroQuest stuff I want to talk about is because we haven't heard anything more about Wizards of Morcar or anything. I mean, it won't be till October till we get any news for that, it seems like. The next thing is the yield in Christmas exchange. You might wonder, what the heck is that? Well, apparently, I was looking back to see how long they've been doing it. Since 2012. It looked like every year since 2012, members of the Yield in forum have been doing this thing where they paint HeroQuest or HeroQuest style miniatures and they mail them to each other, kind of like as a secret Santa. If anybody's done that, like an office party, you pick somebody off the list, they don't know who it is, you don't necessarily know who it is, and you get them a little cheap gift, just a little fun thing, and then everybody gets surprised. So they do this on the forum, and so they do the stuff through the mail. People post the pictures. So I was just going to go through, and a lot of these I haven't seen. So I apologize if anything is like surprising to people, but you're going to see some miniatures from like different years. I didn't go back that far. I just went back to 2019. So there's an example. Somebody did this, and of course, if you see your own stuff, credit where credit is due. But some really talented, creative, humorous things here that people posted. So let's see. So this is an example. I mean, I'm participating in the new one, so I'll be coming up with some stuff, and I'm not going to say it here just in case the person that I get like hears what my idea is and knows. So I want to keep it a surprise. But yeah, some talent on display here. You know, some of it's holiday themed and some of it isn't. Some of it's just plain old awesome. You know, good looking stuff. Of course, whenever you take a photo of a miniature like this, like up close, it's going to look a certain way, but on the table, it's going to look even better because the little tiny flaws and omissions you're not going to notice. Like there's little pock marks and cracks and damage on this tomb. Of course, some would see that as like, an enhancement. Like, oh yeah, it looks like it's weathered and old. But I mean, at the table, it'll look perfect. It'll look flawless. So this is the Yield in Christmas Exchange 2019. Just looking at, got like goblin carolers. And a lot of these miniatures are HeroQuest, but I mean some of them are from other lineups. It's not just Warhammer Fantasy. Of course, 2019, this was before the HeroQuest campaign, the relaunch. This looks like a Lord of the Rings cave troll, some type of elemental. Of course, now it kind of looks like a skull blight. It's got the skull and then a kind of shambling, like icy rock golem thing. So you get to show off your talents too. Orcs with custom weapons. So they sawed off the arm and they replaced it with another weapon, or maybe it broke off. Whenever you get these broken figures, it's like, oh yeah, here's an opportunity. I can put something else in his hand. Yep. So you may see your own work here, and if so, congratulations. Credit where credit is due. See, it's not a contest. It's just purely for fun. It's the thought that counts. Better to give than receive. Oh, that's cool. An orc in a boat with an eye patch. Yep. Some of these I'm gonna have to come back and look at in closer detail. Skeleton with a hat. Not a lot of commentary for these. I mean, it is what it is. Like the individual artist created these and I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't participating. I was barely active in the forums at this time. I think I just started really getting into posting. Mostly I was just like looking at other people's stuff. Yeah, a lot of repeats there. That's just sand, I think. They just put sand on the base. So a lot of stuff here. Yeah, this is all new to me too. I haven't previewed any of this. Just it's a lot of repeats. Cool stuff though. Because yeah, people are posting like cumulative lists. So I guess I could have started at the end, but I wasn't sure how they organized it. Oh, got the candy cane sword. See, this is kind of more the sort of thing that like I was expecting. Yeah, I was expecting more of that. Hilarious and great. Okay, so that was 2019. So let's look at this is 2020. I think this is the start of it. So we got a Chaos Warrior. The Citadel miniatures for the original Hero Quest are still impressive to me. And a lot of these 3D printed ones, I mean, I hate to use 3D printed stuff on the board because I'm worried about it breaking, but some of it's fairly good quality. It'd be good enough if you're really gentle with it. I mean, the resin stuff, no, but the PLA, Famir Mummy, interesting. Gingerbread House. Yeah, there's all kinds of inspirations here. Some of it's just, a miniature you could add to anything you've got. Of course, if you've just got one miniature that's like really well painted, it might encourage you to start painting other things too. Okay, more of this. Interesting. I know we're not even to Halloween yet. We're already thinking about Christmas, but they have a certain time window for this stuff. So I think they gather all the stuff, and by the end of September, it's like who's participating, who you have. You don't know who has you, of course. And then by the end of November, everybody posts their pictures of what they got. And sometimes it's like, okay, you get the thing, but it arrived broken. It's like, well, you didn't pay anything for it. You paid for the shipping. You know what you're getting into. You just did it for fun. But a little super glue will usually fix this stuff, especially if it's 3D printed. A lot of the stuff is 3D printed. Or you take an old miniature that's broken and you kit bash it, repurpose it. People have done little paintings, little drawings. That's nice. Okay, so that looks like Battle Masters to me. The Battle Masters goblin. Keep in mind the person sharing it is not the person who created it. These are the people who received it. Okay, so that was that year. It was 2020. And let's see, 2021. Okay, so we got some more orcs. Now, here, of course, September. So this would have been right when the end of November. So yeah, December. Okay, so the remake of HeroQuest had come out. So you can see those miniatures are now entering in. Some people are starting to paint those, or think about painting them. Because the retail version was out at the same time. So if you're one of those people that was like, oh, I can't paint it because it's rare, it's like, no, you got other things. I like that alchemist bench. That's really detailed and neat, really bright. And I mean, I'm still learning about all this painting stuff. You got a pit of chaos, little jeep, little futuristic for Hero Quest, or like 40K. Ah, yes, Christmas zombie. I wonder if that's like a piece from another toy or if it's made of like green stuff or something. Could have been. Conversion. It's well done. Very nice. And you think if some of these are by the same people, it's like their talent, their skill growing. They get to show off what they learned in the year. Oh, there's a remake. Orc painted. I mean, the game had been out for a month, so people are already showing off their skills. The first fan painted. Okay, this guy went all out. Got a box. You open it up. Interesting. A little tomb and a skeleton. Cool. Well, it's made of paper. Yeah, first I thought that was wood, maybe. Yeah, just a little surprise box. Ah, just clicking on through. Yeah, I've already picked out the miniatures I'm going to paint, and I have an idea what they're going to look like. It's just that I haven't begun to paint yet. Oh yeah, this guy. Okay, Andras. Andras. Saying his name wrong, but yeah, he got this cool like treasure chest, and I guess it only survived for a short time before it was destroyed. It was like the kids or the pets got to it, and it was ruined. It was like, yeah, but it survived for a while enough for me to take this picture. So anyway, that was that. And 2022. So some cool looking stuff. I sometimes forget how buff those classic era HeroQuest figures are. They got the big, huge hands, big, huge heads. They look great when they're painted, though. There's so much detail on them. Highly detailed miniatures. Some good photos, too. A little grab bag of things. That's neat. Oh, that's the sword from the weapons rack in the hands of the barbarian. So it's another kit bash. Cool idea. So you get a couple broken pieces and you put them together in a cool way. First yield in Christmas exchange. Eyes are getting worse over the years. Yeah, and another thing, people are doing all these 3D prints. It's like a lot of them, you just throw them away because they're not perfect in your eyes. But you paint them up, they can look pretty good. You can repurpose them, regift them. People making custom cards, custom miniatures, great stuff. But yeah, if you go to Yield In, you can just type in miniature exchange, and you can find these. Share the link. Elf on a Shelf. Hey, Bohemyus is here. Welcome, sir. Yeah, Elf on a Shelf was something that was introduced not that long ago. Was it like a decade ago now? I can't remember, but it was definitely not something that we had in our childhood. But yeah, there's kids that are grown now who remember that as their family tradition. For us, it was just Santa Claus and reindeer. Four wizards on the shelf. Oh, it's like he's bursting in. They're small. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Very creative. Some chibi, super deformed versions of the monsters. You can always freeze frame this. I don't know. I might edit some of this just because it's a lot of repetition. Ice Gremlin. Yep. The Frozen Horror has a wintry theme to it anyway, so easily adapt it. Santa's Elves at work. Oh yeah, I have one of these 3D printed doorways. But I think PLA is the way to go if you're going to use it at the table. The resin stuff, no, not for my time or my money. That stuff is just too brittle. Even the better resins. I mean, if it was like kind of like stone resin that you find like, you know, those things you buy for your mantelpiece, maybe. But you think that'd be really expensive. All right. And let's see, we've got 2023. Again, if you're coming in late, this is Yield In's Christmas exchange from the yieldin.com forums. Night of the Living Dead. Yep. It's got a hockey mask. Zombies are already ready for that. But yeah, I'll be participating this year, so you'll get to see. Somebody will get my stuff. And Bohemyus, you helped me because you gave me the miniatures that I'll be painting. Some Chaos Dwarfs. And actually, Chaos Dwarves are mentioned in the Marvel Winter Special. There's a Chaos Dwarf in that story, so you could say, you know, it's part of the lore for Warhammer Fantasy Battle or RPG. Okay, there's a remake style Dread Warrior. Yep, with several other characters. I don't necessarily know what games all these characters are from. So Dragon. Another these chibi warriors. Wizard this time. Is that 3D printed? No, it's painted. Okay. I mean, color 3D printed, I was thinking. Okay, so there's a bone tile. That looks like Lester Dante's stuff. Because I think he commissioned some works focused on the Witch Lord and some cards. Unless he just combined it with that to put it together. There's a lot of fan stuff out there now. A lot of the stuff you're seeing are homebrew, like fan stuff. Cool. The 3D terrain is always a cool thing to combine. Okay, this is one of those printer drawers. What do they call it? It's like they used to have printing presses where you would pull the drawer out and it would have all the dies for like the different letters, like they're printing in the newspaper. And so you go to all these antique shows and flea markets and antique malls, and they have all these drawers. And you set it on its side, and you could use it to display stuff because it's got, you know, all those slots. So you could put miniatures in there and other knickknacks. But yeah, a lot of people get them because we don't use printing presses like that anymore. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Display racks, basically. So yeah, I'm just going through just to look for any interesting pictures or cool ideas people have done. Okay, so that was that. And then this is last year, 2024. Except probably usually starts around page 6. Page 7 in the forum thread. This is what they call a forum, kids. This is what they used to have before news feeds. Okay, there's a wolf. That's cool. Animal companion. Oh, look at these guys. Oh, it's the same one, just from different angles. Okay, but yeah, it looks like some kind of Hot Wheels contraption. Very detailed painting. Or is that a combat wheelchair? I don't know. But it's got a drill bit on it. Interesting. It's got a little keg in the back. It could be a sleigh, I guess, if you attach a reindeer to it. Wheelchair of destruction. Tiny Tim is great. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't reading the text. It is Tiny Tim. Wow, Wandering Monster, Tiny Tim. See, man, it's creative. Very creative. Let's see. Bookem Dano. Hey, I may have to do this. I love painting. I have done some pretty decent work, if I do say so myself. Yeah. Have you seen the new Chaos Dwarfs that are being released by GW? No, not really. I don't really follow Games Workshop that closely. I mean, I look to see what the free miniature of the month is. I kind of glance around the store, but yeah, I don't follow it too closely. So I'm not talking about the drama or the good stuff. It's just if it's not in a physical store, I probably haven't seen it. And if it's something small, I probably haven't seen it. Because I'm looking for specific things whenever I go there. I'm looking for like the best deal, something that resembles something in Space Crusade or something cheap. But no, a Famir, cutesy Famir. Yeah, Tiny Tim. Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. So that image you may recognize from the T-shirts we gave out at Gen Con, and Sikashem had one as well. So all of those are fan-made shirts, but they're based on an image that was discovered a few years ago of a really rare HeroQuest official shirt that you could send $1 in and a little coupon and a magazine, and they would send it to you. And it's just a black shirt. And the ones that are out there are in really bad shape. Like we've seen pictures, they're like beat up. Nobody took care of them. But you can kind of like copy the image and put it on another shirt, and it's like, okay, it's for your personal use. You're not trying to fool anybody. You're not trying to scam anybody. But yeah, I think it's just kind of a neat image. It's like this big drooling goblin or orc with a big toothy mouth. And so, happy holidays, Secret Santa, Monster Pack. What does that say? Mischief in the North. Wow. I gotta pack the stuff in foam too. Oh, the Christmas tree sword. That's great. And the little lights are on the side. Candy cane. That's incredible. Whoever gave him that stuff did a great job. See, that's the kind of stuff like I would love. I don't know if I have the talent to do anything that amazing, but yeah, strive for something awesome. Just the creativity, the humor, in addition to the skill. Okay, I think that's the end. Okay. Well, this is 2025. We have some participants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people so far. So yeah, if you're interested in participating, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. So yeah, that's the Yield-In Christmas Exchange. It's a painting deal, little Secret Santa type of fun thing. Okay, so our last topic tonight, yeah, like I said, a shorter show with just myself here. Last topic, we're going to be talking about. Oh, Bohemyus is here. Sorry, Bohemyus, didn't see you there. How's it going? I lulled him to sleep with my.
I know. I didn't want to disturb you. It's just but I really prefer to follow on Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no
Uh,
problem. No problem.
I have better audio, better quality
Oh, yeah.
of the video.
Yeah.
Twitch on the phone is not that good.
Our next topic, I was going to talk about Pathfinder Quest because a couple people were talking about it. My verdict so far is I'm not interested in this. And not because I have anything against Pathfinder. I mean, Paizo was kind of like uplifted in my eyes of saying like this is the alternative to Dungeons and Dragons. So if you're mad at Wizards of the Coast, go support Pathfinder. That's like what people were saying. It's like okay, sure, if you want to do that. They have this crowdfunding campaign, so they wanted $75,000. So compare that to Hasbro HeroQuest, where they wanted $1 million, and they raised 3.6 million. This is they wanted 75,000, and they've gotten $207,576, and they've got a month to go. But let's take a look at this project. So in general, I have vowed not to support crowdfunded projects, not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, if you got a passion project, why not? But Paizo, I don't think is a small company. I think they've got some money. So why are they doing this? The other thought is I feel like these projects have a tendency towards FOMO because, it's like get it now or you'll never get it. And then people buy multiple copies and then they sell them for like absurd, they scalp it. They sell for absurd prices. So I don't like that aspect of it all. And then there's people that just don't trust it, period, because they say, well, it doesn't get funded, so it's not going to be made. Well, these guys have already funded, so that's not an issue. So I don't really have a problem with this project per se. It's just that it doesn't look like something that I would support for multiple reasons, and I'll say more about that. So let's take a look at it. No game master, no endless prep, just epic adventure in a box. Well, first off, I don't mean to be like an elitist here, but HeroQuest already does that. Oh, but you need a game master to play HeroQuest. Not necessarily. We've got the free companion app. You can play all those quests with no Zargon. And we've had other games like this before. So OrcQuest, and you could say, well, OrcQuest was a crowdfunder as well, and it's now hard to find. So what's the big deal? This whole idea that you have to have no game master, that's a good thing. Why? I mean, maybe you've got somebody who wants to come up with an adventure, but I get the idea that you just want to get into the game. It's like, okay, well, let's check it out. Let's see. Is this? I mean, because I hold HeroQuest up as a standard for these types of games, and you know that when people see this Pathfinder Quest, what do you think of? Oh, I think of Dungeons Quest. I think of Legend of Zagor. No, you're thinking of HeroQuest. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna compare this to HeroQuest. So it is fair. It is fair. So this is a lower budget game. And because it's a lower budget game, you think, well, it's going to cost more, right? It's going to cost more because it's a smaller run of product. So I'm looking at it. So there's 12 adventures, so 12 quests. They're saying each one lasts approximately 2 hours. Okay, so similar to HeroQuest, 14 quests. They claim 1 hour. It's more like 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's one of these like modular tile games, which most dungeon crawlers these days are like that. In the age of HeroQuest, it was a board. Dragon Strike had a board. Legend of Zagor, Dungeon Quest, all these games, Dungeon, they all had a board. With the tiles, theoretically, okay, you have more variety because you can put the tiles in any pattern you want. But then there's the whole setup aspect. Like, you either got to set it all up, or you got to reveal it one tile at a time, and you got to have enough room on the table so that it's going to be right. And check this out. They're using cardboard standees. Okay, what does that remind you of? Well, every game, right? But most recently, HeroQuest, First Light used standees. So here they show the 3D printed. Yes, these are 3D printed. So you're buying 3D printed miniatures. So that's a little bit of a strike there because it's like, okay, 3D printed resin, these are going to break. That's not good. And look at this. You got to set up all these cards, and you're making this like pyramid out of cards as you're playing. It's like I don't like that. For some people, though, this is a game. This is what games are. This is what you do. Everybody expects this, and so this is standard. Like, okay, fine. But is this really easier? Is this really faster? Is this really simpler than what HeroQuest has? You just open the board up. And you've got like one card at your spot. Okay, the wizard has more, but for the most part, you don't have that much stuff. And you got all these little tokens, lots of little tokens. People like tokens, though. You got dice. Now, I can't see all the faces on the dice, but these are D6s, and it looks like they've got a 1, a 2. In some of the pictures, you can see a 3. There's a skull, and there's a star. I don't know what the 6 symbol is, but my theory is that there's a different image on each face, which tells me you could have just used regular pip dice for this, just regular D6s. But that means that you could adapt the rules without having this game, in theory. You got a lot of tiles, of course. You got a lot of punch outs. But yeah, everything's a standee. So the only plastic in the box are the little bases and the dice. And the rule book is 16 pages, so that's a good sign because HeroQuest's rule book is 23 pages, so comparable. The adventure book's 144 pages, 48-page challenge book. I don't necessarily know what all those things are. But then the deluxe edition has these figures. Now they do call it MSRP, so that tells me they are going to sell it after the campaign is over. But they do say later it's just going to be in limited quantities, and it's not going to be at big box retail stores. It's not going to be on Amazon. So I'm thinking, okay, great. So it'll be a very limited run product outside of that. And you do save a little bit of money doing the campaign, but the deluxe is $150. So how many resin miniatures do they add? 4 hero miniatures. All additional miniatures unlocked during the campaign. So, okay. So this makes me think like, oh, wait a minute. 4 heroes and a dragon? Where have we seen this before? I mean, people say HeroQuest is generic, but I mean, I guess copy the ones that are successful. So First Light is $50, and this is 150, or no? Okay, the standard edition is $119.99, so 120 bucks MSRP, and I think you get it for 100 if you pledge it. Of course, you can pledge for less than it's actually worth, and you don't get this. You're just supporting it, so you can give them $3. You got your add-ons, so you got your fan roll dice. Not a big fan of fan roll. Their stuff is just not high contrast enough. It looks like candy. It's fancy, but it just, for gameplay, it leaves something to be desired. You got these cards. You got an app. There's a companion app. Well, it's a narrative app. It's $15 if you just buy it in retail. It's $12 if you buy it during the campaign, because digital, it goes up in price. They can charge whatever they want for it, I guess. Oh, these are player mats. Okay. Okay, so they have lots of miniatures, but again, these are 3D printed, round bases. I guess they look okay, but I mean, nothing that special. Look pretty generic. HeroQuest is generic as well, but then they've got prices for everything, like itemized. So you get the box set of 24 figures for $60. The early encounters for 125. Late encounters for 155. It's just an exhausting price list. So you want to buy all this stuff for 12 adventures. Wow. Okay. So all these monsters. I see a lot of like little bits that are going to break off. Yeah, I don't look at this. This is not good. For 3D printing, no. It looks great for painting, but you want to put this on your table, good luck. Okay. So, yeah. You got all this stuff. They want to get retailers involved. Hey, if you want to put your dog in this, you can give them $1,000. They'll put your dog in it. You're joking, right? Okay, and then stores. Okay, this is for stores though. They get 5 copies, so then they can sell them in the store. Okay, so here you go. So the basic Pathfinder Quest is going to be $100, MSRP at 120, then 120 for the deluxe, or 150 MSRP. So this is with 3D printed miniatures. Now there was one good thing. One good thing I saw about this whole project is they said, oh, they want you to pledge so that they'll give you, I guess, items so that you can go on Blue Sky and Facebook and promote it. There's the dice. Oh, where was it? Basically, they were saying when you buy it, here's all the influencers trying to get you to buy it from Gen Con. See, I don't remember this at Gen Con. It was probably there and I just walked past it. But they were saying you can get the STL files and print the miniatures yourself. Okay, that's kind of good because I think these are going to break. So at least if you can get the files, you could print out backup copies. Or if you don't think you have enough, you could print more. But I think they should give you a discount if you're just going to print them. Like you say, hey, instead of getting, all those miniatures, those 105 miniatures, I'm just going to print them myself. I mean, it'll take you a long time, but it would save you a lot of money, potentially. And you could print them how you wanted. So, yeah, this is not for me. This is definitely not for me. If it were if it were this price and it was like bendy plastic or even just like polystyrene, maybe. I mean, if you look at Warhammer Quest, I think it's Cursed City, it's $170 and it's very similar. It looks very similar to this. But you've got to assemble the miniatures and they encourage you to paint them of course because they're all gray. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. These are all just gray. I mean, you've got to color them yourself. 'Cause who wants to play this? At least Orc Quest, maybe a third of them were green. There were some pink ones. So it looks pretty boring. And again, I'm not just saying this because it's a competitor to HeroQuest, but it's like I don't know. I heard Paizo was like really like a major company, like they could do something better than this. This is kind of like I don't know. It looks like some fan just put this together. It doesn't look like a professional like competitor to Dungeons and Dragons. And I don't think of Dungeons and Dragons as having a lot of fancy stuff. I think of it as, you know, pencil and paper and dice. That's what I think of when I think of D&D. So, I don't know. Any comments? Let's see. Are they using the Pathfinder's RPG IP? Well, I watched some of the videos and it looks like it's a modification of Pathfinder. It's Pathfinder Quest. So they're adapting the RPG into a dungeon crawler tabletop board game. So I don't know how simplified it is, but I guess in the same way that a game like Warhammer Quest is a simplification, uh, a modular version of Warhammer. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I could have done a little more research and checked it over because yeah, it's I mean Dungeons and Dragons you can do a lot more in D&D than you can in HeroQuest just using the basic rules. It's almost like too much. It's so complicated. But I mean what they're trying to say is you don't have to do any work. So I'm thinking of a game like what can I think of it? Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is another out of the box, start playing right away dungeon crawler with a lot of stuff. I mean, in that one, the combat is card based, so a lot of us prefer dice based combat. I mean, this is dice based combat, I believe. The RPG wasn't that great, in my humble opinion, but good on them. I shouldn't be interested in that either. I wouldn't be. Well, I'd always been told that Pathfinder, the reason Pathfinder exists is because in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, you had these different editions. I can't remember if it was second edition or third edition, but at some point, TSR, Wizards of the Coast, whoever, they continued on. They revised a lot of stuff, and some people rebelled against it. They didn't like those rules, and so they split off because you could do that. You could take the D&D rules and you could make your own version of the game, basically a fan mod that becomes its own game. And so people who wanted that to preserve a certain style of D&D spun it into Pathfinder. Am I wrong about that? Oh, see, Gold is saying, okay, third edition, 3.0, or to extend 3.5. See, I'm not a D&D player, so I don't know all those details. That would just go right by me. I mostly go by what other people say about it. So since I haven't been able to play it and compare it, I can't say it's better or worse, or oh, I prefer this or that. But it's a direct competitor now to D&D. Even though you could buy D&D and play it like Pathfinder, you could buy Pathfinder and play it like D&D. I mean, nothing stops you from doing that. But if you don't want to have to like rewrite the book or ignore big chunks of it, Pathfinder 2E is out now. It's fairly recent. Yeah, it became an alternative to D&D around that time. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so that's pretty much what I heard as well. But I mean, my knowledge of it is like the Wikipedia version of knowledge of it. In other words, not firsthand. I played only a little bit of D&D, and it was just like the Star Wars trilogy version of it. So a fairly modern version. And I played most recently at Gen Con. I played the Yawning Portal or whatever it was called. just basically a bar fight. And it felt just like a storytelling adventure and then dice-based combat. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. It was fun. It was short. I mean, there's only so much you can do in an hour or 2 hours. But yeah, this to me just doesn't look like anything. I mean, I guess with a pencil and paper RPG, anything you add to it physical is going to enhance the experience because it's all in your imagination. But it's like, oh, I've got a physical piece here. I've got a map. I've got some artwork. It's like, oh, cool, you know. And then you want to start adding even more stuff. Oh, I want 3D terrain and I want, painted figures and all this stuff. But of course, if they sold you like actual plastic, that would raise the price. If they painted it, that it would cost even more. Like the price just keeps going up and up. And they claim not that they didn't use any AI with this. Like, okay, great. But yeah, I don't know. Would you buy this? Anybody? I was thinking, well, maybe the brand means so much that people will buy this. They'll just be like, "Oh, it's Pathfinder." So,
Yeah,
already sold.
a lot of people would buy it just because it's Pathfinder.
It's
They
quality.
are fan
Yeah.
of Pathfinder. But I mean, from the video that you show, it's like they took Warhammer Quest and make it like more simplified. It looked like there's not even much of maneuvering in the game because you have to solve the situation square by square. Is you see in one square you can put multiple miniatures. Now the video you just pass it. Video
Oh,
before.
oh,
No, 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 not this one. The one of
this little,
uh, the gameplay. Yes,
yeah.
you see
This
the
this
group move in big squares,
this reminds me of
and
Orc Quest. They showed the same kind of thing. But even Orc Quest, I mean, they have big
yes,
tiles,
but
big
you,
rooms, big fields.
you, you cannot freeze the frame, right? Anyway,
No,
you
there's
see
like
there's like
little,
numbers on the letters. There you go.
yeah, little tiles,
It's like
little,
even there's no squares.
little.
There's event. You have that room. They have like three event A, B, and C,
Mm,
and is like there's a game. This one is the mix between
hmm.
Warhammer Quest and a game of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, this was oversimplified Dungeons and Dragons that they published like
Oh, a
3 years ago. Right.
JRPG. Well, that's a. I was thinking of like Warhammer
It,
40,000. Like you move your group together because in HeroQuest, you move your hero, you move your animal companions or your mercenaries that you have. But in 40K, you move the group together. Like they have to maintain unit cohesion, so you can only be like 2 or 3 inches
mm,
away from the guys, otherwise they die like automatically. So I don't know. Of course,
no,
D&D
here
was
you look like you can split.
split
Okay,
apart.
the group
Oh,
on the
okay,
same room
fair
in
enough. You
the
did split.
in different part of the event. And every room have his own event,
Mm,
and so it's yes, it's a dungeon crawler, but it's not the dungeon crawler craw- crawler that we like with squares moving,
squares or hexes or yeah.
tactical tactical moving two movements. No, here the tactic is in positioning, nothing else on the room.
Mhm. Well, you're not using a measuring tape to see if you got close enough to
No, no,
melee the
it
monsters.
doesn't look like
Oh,
you just follow A, B, and C,
ah,
and the same way to go.
well,
You see the letter
yeah, I
on the
see the
tile.
letters A, B, C. Well,
Hmm.
yeah, the book tells you what to do. So it tells you, okay, this, then this, then this. Okay, A, C. Of course, the
Yeah.
letters ought to make me think of HeroQuest, where it's like Zargon's looking at the notes, like, okay, A says this. So I guess if you're looking at the book, it's like, okay, this is what happens here. Now we got to do this. so you could lay it out as you go. But
Yeah, but it really look like a video game. Yeah, when you keep going, fight the little monster. When you arrive at the boss, you have like a different mechanic.
yeah,
It really feels like really like whatever quest. Whatever quest is like this. You keep going until you arrive to the end of the dungeon.
mhm,
You don't have much of exploring. It's more
yeah,
arcade.
yeah. Well, and that can be appealing. I never played Warhammer Quest, but I remember reading about it and thinking, "Oh, this is just advanced Hero Quest for the modern age." And it's not quite that simple. It's more like, from what I've read, you can either play it like a dungeon crawler or you can play it like an RPG. Like there's multiple layers of rules that you could use. So I don't know how this game does it, if it's more like the RPG light or if it's more of just the board
Well,
game.
I don't know. It looks like it's just a board game. Exactly, it's more a board game
Hmm.
than a dungeon crawler.
This
It's a modular board game.
this timer is a big deal. They say it's time based, so you only have a certain amount of time
Yeah,
to win the quest.
another arcade feature.
Hmm.
You have to
Timer, yeah,
go
you got to
against
insert
time.
another quarter to keep playing.
Yeah,
Well, Dragon Strike had something like that back in the day. It wasn't so much like, oh, you have an hour to beat the quest, or but it was like, if you don't beat it in 21 turns, dark fire shows up. So the dragon shows up to like kill you. Although that's a very video game thing to do too. Like in Ninja Turtles, if you just kind of hung around too
yeah.
long, bombs would fall and like blow you up. Or in Golden Axe, like extra monsters would just sneak up on you and start like bashing you. Because like if the kid walks away from the arcade machine, it's like, okay, no one can play until he dies. So they just send something to kill you unless you jump back on the machine and start fighting again.
Like Gold said, the group is moving all at once. Information. It seems like a JRPG.
Yeah,
Yes.
the party is moving. Fantasy Star
Hmm.
is always what I think of Fantasy Star
Yes.
2, or I guess Final Fantasy. Of course, those are really single player games, but I mean, you have all your characters. This is 1 to 4, I think. So I'm not sure if that means
Yeah.
you would control, like, if you're by yourself, you would control multiple characters, or if it would just be one character.
But whatever quest doesn't even require an app. You can play alone.
Ah, yeah.
For
Orc Quest the same way. Yeah, you just play it by yourself. Although this, they're saying uh, the app is a narrative app, so maybe it just reads the stuff to you, so you don't have to read the book. Set up A, B, and C. Or,
perfect.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So yes.
It's only $15 or $12. So I guess this presentation here would be a lot more impressive to me if HeroQuest, the remake, did not exist. Like if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, interesting. Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff here I don't like, but maybe there's some that I do like, and maybe I could adapt this into something. But the fact that the miniatures are
Yeah.
3D printed and they're so generic makes me like, why do I even want those? Like, I could just get those somewhere else. So I'll get the cheap box
Because
and I'll add them from my own
yes,
stash.
but looking from the point of view of a fan of Pathfinder,
Hmm.
okay, the possibility to have original
Oh,
STL files directly from
the
Pathfinder,
official
the
kobold.
possibility.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The official orc.
They, they are official, even if they are STL files, they are official.
It's like, oh, there's the
And
bear that was in that one
and
adventure. Yeah.
and anyway, you can print any material you want when you have the STL. So you can do it in PLA, you can do resin, you can do it. Do you see the new resin?
Polished
That is
bronze.
practically the same resistance of the HeroQuest plastic.
Yeah. Well, I have some of Ribby's rims that are made of that kind of stuff, and it's
That one, no,
really
no, that
durable.
one is another. Is TPU. This is
Oh, is it?
another material. That is a resin.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, I
they
haven't
is
seen those.
practically have the same consistency of the HeroQuest games,
Yeah.
the plastic.
Is it really expensive?
Yeah. I don't know. I saw some video where this guy print a spear, like, and he
Oh.
bent it. Uh, okay, and he go back to the his original position, even if it's printed in this new resin.
I could have done more research. So somebody who has, I mean, I was just looking at this the last few hours. So somebody else could school me on this. If I was at Gen Con last year, I probably could have. Well, I mean, it was there, but I didn't
Uh,
go to their
uh,
booth to look at it.
I mean, material for 3D printing, I think they are completely unrelated to this topic.
Well, anyway, I know, but that's interesting. So we could be on our way to something. Gold Public says, I guess narrative app is telling you, same as companion app, that it doesn't contain the complete game. You're not meant to play the full game on just the app. Yeah, that makes sense to me. They want it to be a companion. I think the way HeroQuest did it, it's kind of ingenious because yes, it still relies on the main board game to be the focus. It's kind of distracting to go back and forth because I have played it that way. I have played it where one person has a phone in their hand and they've got the volume turned up. But I mean, you could throw it on a big screen as well. Put a cable in. You could play it on your PC, but it's like you can also just play it on the app. But I mean, you just have to simulate more stuff. You still have to do a lot of the dice rolls. You still have to do the character sheets. You still have to do the treasure draws. But yeah, if you want a narrator to just like tell you this stuff, give you the instructions, or teach you how to play it if you don't know what you're doing, that can be part of it too. Gold Public says, I don't use the HQ companion app at all yet myself. Maybe it should try it again. I mostly just mess around with it, but I mean, you've seen on our channel when Sir Death Vids was here, Sir Death, we actually played a couple of quests, and I think I just had like a side camera for the dice. I don't think we even had Ribby's dice yet. We were just rolling the dice and we would drew the cards, but otherwise we just did everything in the app. It was like you had to pretend certain things. So it's like if somebody bought a monster in the Twitch game, you had to just generate a wandering monster on purpose so that you could have a monster, an extra one. But I mean, certain things you just couldn't do. You just had to work around them. But it was an
Yeah,
experiment. I think that day I
I
did.
don't like it.
Yeah, it's not a substitute for the real thing, the real experience. I think in a way though, if you get rid of the GM, if you get rid of Zargon in HeroQuest, it's like the group is now Zargon because the group is saying, I don't like the way that trap worked. Let's just say it was like this, okay? Or, whatever. There's some glitch and you have to figure it out. So you collectively come
Yeah,
up with a solution. Whereas if it was a human Zargon, Zargon would just decide, like, oh, that secret door is not there. What are you talking about? Or that's one monster? No, that's two monsters. Or no, no, you don't get to roll for that. You know what? You do get to roll for that. None of this. Oh, well, the door is broken, so you have to use pass a rock to go around the door because you can't open it. Something like that. But it would have its uses. It would definitely have its uses. And you want to replay an adventure, well, it's always going to be the same. So then you want to start creating adventures. Okay, now you're back to having humans Argon again.
yeah. Not just that, the app have its limitation.
Absolutely.
The AI is extremely stupid, so the game is super easy. So it's good. It's good maybe for a group that is
Training.
they just started,
Yeah.
okay, and don't know yet how to solve the situation. But after you start knowing how to solve the situation, and also you know how to um, trick the AI and do
Yeah.
whatever you want, it becomes super easy.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just want to win, it's very easy. Uh, just
Yeah,
like whereas Zargon, like a human Zargon, like he has godlike powers. He could just say everybody dies. Like, and I mean, yeah, you can get up and leave the table and say you're a jerk and I'm never playing again. And it's like, oh, you could shame him into changing his tactics. But I mean, yeah, he has total power. The funniest thing that I would, and I know someone like this, they could run the whole quest. And at the end, you're like, I wonder what that looked like. I mean, Bohemius, you always liked it. Well, I want to look at the quest and see how it was. You look at it, it's just a blank piece of paper. It's like, what? It was all in his imagination. It's like, yep, got him.
Yeah, but that is fine. That is completely fine.
Yeah.
What I want to see is what is the original thought.
Well, yeah, yeah. You want to say, okay, this was the original quest, and it was working fine until this crazy thing happened, and then I had to improvise right over here. You know, when I play as Zargon, a lot of times what happens is like I'll be distracted and I'll miss something. Like I'll forget to put a door somewhere. It's like, oh shoot. So I'll have to put the door somewhere else so that you can still get to where you're supposed to go. Sometimes I just have to admit, no, I forgot to put the door out. I'm sorry. You know, or something like that. Or
Yeah,
I'll
but
misread a
that one
rule.
happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes also happen in between a session and the other. You forget just to put the door
Yep.
in this. Yes, but that is a normal error.
Yeah, human error. Well,
Nobody
and other
nobody's blaming you.
no, no. Well, and other times you'll have something like I was telling you when we played Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, I misread the rule for the floating skulls. I'm like, gee, these guys are like so easy. Like, what's even the point of them? And then I realized, oh no, they're supposed to be able to attack you immediately when they appear. So I added more to the quest so that you could experience the idea of actually fighting them rather than just, oh, here's another one. Oh, easily destroyed, no challenge. Oh, another one, no, easy. They're just pillows that you're just pushing out of the way. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but you see how different it is because it's
Mhm.
like one of those traps that you cannot disarm.
Right.
You cannot discover because in the moment you see them, boom, they appear, they shoot.
They shoot. Yep. Yep. Well, and some of the gimmicks I liked so much, I just did more of it. Like the disguise thing, really, it only is like a handful of times that you actually use it. But it was like, well, what if it was the whole quest though? So we just did it. Or I think some of um, I'm thinking of Rise of the Dread Moon here. There was a time when like the dead guys come back to life. And it's like, oh, but what if it was like even more of? So I like deepened the mechanic and made it more likely that you would keep fighting these guys. And it's like, they just won't die. They won't stay dead. So
Yeah,
because if you get really bad rolls, it just never happens. And so it's like no different than a normal game. But of course, you might get really good rolls, and then it's like, man, can't get through this room. This one room is so hard.
yeah, but like you always said, you have anyway a system that
I do.
is made also to add a little bit of pathos, a little bit of drama, okay, in the situation. So if the situation is solved too fast, it will not stick the tension
Hmm.
to the group. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand that. I appreciate everything you do to make it a little bit more spicy, more fun,
Yeah.
more challenging. Okay, because uh, at the end we like also a little bit of challenge. We don't
Yeah.
like only the story.
Yeah. And sometimes it is like a movie. I mean, you got your action
Oh
scene.
yeah,
It's like, but you can't have too
oh
much. It's
yeah.
like you just have just enough, and
Yeah,
and maybe some.
just think about how we left last week with the ogre. We're in a corner, me and the monk, with practically with nothing, with two ogres punching us in the corner. We're in a bad spot. The elf went for a vacation, exploring and taking photo and picture of the dungeon. Yeah, I enjoy the kind. In the meantime, okay, in the center room we have zombies, mummies. They want to take down the doors and surround us from every direction. So,
Yep.
yes, if it's not scenographic depth, that I don't know what it is. Okay, in
Right.
with the app or with a normal following just the rules, we would not have that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
someone would have to break the ice and start just kind of adding their own little flavor, and maybe the other players would pick up on it and do stuff like, oh, I rolled a two again. Oh, I tripped over my
But,
shoelaces. The dwarf
but
is
at the
clearly
end,
pranking me.
did you break many of the HeroQuest rule? Not much. You just add something, but at the end,
Benson,
we're playing HeroQuest.
still playing
Yeah.
HeroQuest. Yeah. Well, if you buy this game, you could play HeroQuest with this game too. And so for me, I'm interested to hear the people who do get it. What are the rules like? Because maybe there's something in there that would spark my imagination to put into my own game. Similar to when like SuQuest came out,
Oh,
you know, not much, but
well, for sure, for sure, there's a niche of the market for this game. Okay, a lot of people will love it because
mm,
uh, okay, it's simple. Look very simple.
yeah. Well,
Okay,
and
yeah.
think about this. So there's supposedly $50 worth of 3D printed miniatures in here in the
Mm,
deluxe edition. I don't know about all these other
yeah.
add-ons things, but I was looking at something and I've obscured it for privacy. But Amazon, okay, look at this. I just typed in Pathfinder miniatures. There's official Pathfinder
Mhm.
battles like boxes and they're painted and they're fancy, but you get all these generic ones. So there's 50 unique fantasy miniatures
With
for
kids.
$30 and they're
Hmm.
PVC plastic. Um, how many are in this one? 100 for $43.
Yeah,
$38 under dusk. Oh, 64 unpainted. And they're in different colors too. I'm just like, okay, this is better than what they're giving you. I mean, maybe the detail isn't there. I bet they're not as detailed, but they're going to be more durable. You get
but
more
it's
of
exactly
them.
what I thought. This is a box full of miniatures. They are original. Imagine somebody that is a fan already have them all. If you give them also the file and they can print it in the plastic they
Yeah, you
want,
could print hundreds of
scale it
them if you
in the
wanted.
you can scale it in the scale they want. They do 200%, 300%, make it gigantic, or do it this microscopic. That
That's
is the
true.
option of this. The STL gives you.
That's true.
You can. Hmm.
Having the STL is a big thing. Before I read that, I'm like, this is just trash. This is garbage. No one. I
Well,
mean, some
it's
people
always
wanted it.
kids. So
Yeah,
if you ever seen Clicks or
yeah.
Mage Knights, the quality of the painting never been good.
No,
The quality of the plastic
you could repaint
was
it yourself.
meh.
Yeah.
Look at the dragon. It's hard. I don't like it. Okay, this one is not anyway. It's not Pathfinder, I believe. The one that you just showed.
No, no, no.
So
Most of these are not. I
mm.
was looking at the generic ones. I'm just saying, like, if you just want a big box of like random monsters and like heroic looking
Oh,
figures, you can buy them by the dozen.
oh yes.
Animal
Oh
companion.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean,
yeah. But the
these are
people
CGI
always look at the
images.
brand, right?
Yeah,
Yes, there's a ton of miniatures. They are
heroes.
in the free STL free online. All the stuff they send you,
Yeah.
they're all free files.
Yeah, you can print the
Okay.
stuff for free. You can buy plastic miniatures by the box. You don't have to
Hmm.
get theirs. But you're right.
Yeah.
Those
No.
designs may mean something to somebody, and they may think,
Yeah, but
I
what I
want,
want to make you, I want to make you an example. Imagine they do the same for HeroQuest, and they create like a set of miniature days only in STL file, and they're going to sell it to you. You are a fan of HeroQuest, you will think about it
I will think about it. Yeah.
because yeah,
Well, there
that
is that sense too. It's like if I like the company and I like what the company is doing, I feel like I'm supporting them. Even if, well, I don't really need this, but I want them to keep making more of this kind of stuff. So I'm going to vote with my wallet. I'm going to
of
contribute to
course.
it versus, oh man, I'm such a broke gamer that I'll just get the stuff as cheap as possible. So I find a friend who has it already and I just get myself
Uh,
invited over to their house and play it at their house and then I go home and I'm fine. All I had to do was make stovetop stuffing for them. That was it.
I overall is not. For example, all this product is beautiful, but it's not the style that I like. So I don't think I will ever buy it.
Hmm.
It's not for me. I'm not the target.
Yeah, I'm not the target either.
But it doesn't mean that it's not a good product. Absolutely.
Yeah, it might be. It might be great, but it just seems like there's a lot of these tile-based dungeon crawlers, and they always advertise themselves as being simpler and easier and faster than the RPG that they're based on or tied to, or the war game that they're connected to. So,
Yeah,
but I just
like
think,
Warhammer Quest.
yeah, but I just think to myself, like, the person that buys this doesn't know HeroQuest exists or has a bias against it. Like, because it looks like the kinds of things that they're claiming that this can
Yeah, but
do, HeroQuest does better
okay,
already.
okay. We want to, if we really want to analyze the HeroQuest anyway, is is a game for mostly for kids, young adults.
Mhm.
Okay, this one it is more for young adults and adults. This Pathfinder uh, as a target. So the two different targets. We love HeroQuest, okay,
Mhm.
but we expanded in a way that we can play it as an adult. But
Ah,
it's mostly made for a kid,
so you're
right?
thinking this
HeroQuest.
is maybe a little edgier, a little
Yeah,
scarier.
a kid would not be able actually to play this game maybe because it's too.
Well, you got to match
I don't
all
know.
these. Well, Stephen Baker talks about when they were first demoing HeroQuest, and kids didn't understand like the tiles. Like you got to find the right tile and like turn it in the right direction. It was too slow to like get it going. It's like you're assembling a puzzle. But it's much easier just to have a board and say, okay, well, you're only using this part of the board, so just ignore these rooms and use these. It was much easier. So there's that, and I
Yeah, but conceptually, we were lacking video games. A lot of knowledge missing because they were pioneer
mhm.
on the subject.
Well, and I feel like in the HeroQuest realm, they don't advertise it this way. They don't say it, but Rise of the Dread Moon and Jungles of Delthrak are more advanced because they don't give you everything. There are gaps in the story that you're encouraged to role play and do stuff. And as Zargon, you're much busier. Like in the other games, you're just kind of sitting there roaming around, like, okay, well, there's a gargoyle in the center room. I'm just waiting for them to get to the center room. And my mind is like working and like thinking of schemes that I can add to the adventure as we're playing. Whereas Jungles of Delthrak, I'm just trying to keep up. I'm just like, okay, okay, I got to remember this, and then oh, this other thing's happening. Okay, I got to think ahead. Okay, this next room, this other gimmick is going to happen. Okay, I got to have that ready to go. Oh, all this stuff. Or oh, I got to react to, if they do this, then I got to do this. If they do this other thing, I got to do this other thing. So, but they don't say that. They just say, yeah, age, 14 and up. It's like, okay. So I guess that's why it's important that fans like review the stuff and like inform people, because a lot of people do ask, where should I start with this campaign? Well, you start with the game system, move on to Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord, maybe Spirit Queen, Prophecy of Telor. Um, you really want to go crazy, okay, maybe save Frozen Horror and Mage of the Mirror for later, or maybe do some modifications. Jungles of Delthrak, Rise of the Dread Moon after you've kind of gotten your feet wet. You want to add more to it. But I would think with Pathfinder, it's a pencil and paper RPG. It's an advanced game, right? It's very complex, just like D&D. It's very complex, even though
It
you
was
could say it's
games
for
in a
12
period,
years,
but I'm
12
not.
years old.
I don't want to. I'm not an expert either on Pathfinder because it came out exactly in the moment where I stopped playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
But
but it's a
what I understand was for the people that if it created a niche in the market for the people that like a more technical play.
Hmm. Yeah,
So that's why what all the miniature are needed for playing Pathfinder. It
yeah.
was everything more like
Well,
to, to the to measure to the inch.
well,
Okay,
and and,
everything.
and I'm probably the I'm not as a non-expert. I'm not the right person, non-fan. But I mean, every time I've tried to read the Pathfinder book, I feel like I'm reading the D&D book. It just reminds me so much of it. I mean, it's the same dice.
But is
The
the same
kid,
the game is at the end is the same game. It's just the one is more open minded, the D and D, and this one is more squared because everything had to be super technical with.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, I don't. That is what I heard. I never actually
Okay.
went
Yeah.
there and explore.
See,
I just know that it's for the people that like more technical games.
we need,
Then
uh,
I
we
could.
need, we need Icarith, or we need Brian. We need some of those other people on here to school us on it. But
Sure.
when I see a game like this, though, a dungeon crawler, that to me says simplified, arcade style, boiled down, quick, easy. Like it's a distillation of the more complicated, broader game that you get in the book. So what is this to me? This is saying, okay, you're trying to attract people who maybe aren't fans yet to get them into the game with a simpler version so they can add complexity. Or it's saying, yeah, the game is amazing, but it's such an investment. It's such a chore to get set up. Maybe sometimes you're just not ready. You haven't, oh man, I was so busy at work, I couldn't write the quest out for you guys. I was going to sit down for 8 hours and write this quest, but I didn't have time. So let's play this because it's already ready to go. It's a, you know, it's a backup plan. That's my thought. But they're using the name Pathfinder, so they're obviously drawing upon that, yeah, the goodwill that people have, the good feelings towards it. Why call it that? Why not just call it something totally different? So I'm not 100% sure if it's supposed to attract new fans or if it's just going to be like a different way to play the game that you've already got. I don't know, because First Light is just HeroQuest, but I mean they were obviously going for people that were more budget minded, more tentative, weren't sure they wanted to invest in the whole thing, intimidated by the size of the box. But I mean, this, you're going to want to paint it. And it's like, okay, if you've never 3D printed stuff before, okay, you could just buy it. You can buy it already finished, but it's not painted. So it's still a hobby game. It's not, the miniatures are not color coded, whereas HeroQuest is. So you could just be perfectly happy playing it for years without ever painting. Yeah, I don't know. Well, somebody seems to want it because they've more than made their stretch goal, 214,120. It's grown as we've been doing the stream. So, well, I don't have a whole lot else to say. Okay, Gold says all these tile-based and board games are more simple than the RPGs. I think that's accurate. Well, my understanding with D&D is you can play it as they call it the theater of the mind. You just imagine, like, okay, I'm going down the hallway, like we're just talking. Like, oh, the guy comes up. Okay, I got close to him. Okay, now I swing my sword, and then you start rolling dice. You write it down. Okay, yep, damage, damage. Okay, I killed the guy. Okay, you go on. But in practice, when I have played it, we had just a big piece of paper, and maybe it had a grid on it, or it had a hex map, and it was just, you get a magic marker and you just draw. Okay, here's where here's where the walls are, and then you'd have just a little pawn or a figure. You could get a miniature and say, okay, yeah, the guy's hiding behind this wall. So you move up to him. Okay, now roll your dice. Okay, we killed him. And it's just something you cobbled together for that game, as opposed to saying, okay, well, here's a room with some, it's a wooded area. But I've also seen people play D&D where they have some fancy tiles that they bought. A friend of mine bought me a whole box of them. So I could assemble these tiles, and it's like, oh, here's a forest, here's a graveyard, here's a whatever. And some of them have grids on them, and some of them don't. So you could play it both ways if you wanted to. It's just like you're dressing up the game, but you wouldn't have to use that stuff. Whereas this board game, I mean, you it's built to use those components. Bookham Dano says, I'm considering going back through my painted HeroQuest minis and adding color of what the plastic color code was, i.e. orcs were green, skeletons tan, etc. I don't know if I need to do that though. Well, on the one hand, you know what a skeleton is, so you always know it's a skeleton. But yeah, there's kind of that idea that okay, these are the green figures. Okay, so there's a pool of green figures. I have a rule. I always got to call for a green figure, or oh, it's a off-white figure. I got to use one of those. I don't know. I'm nostalgic for the look of the original plastic because that's what I grew up playing. I guess if I had painted them, I would have gotten nostalgic about the paint, and I probably would have painted it the same way as it did as a kid, just with more detail. Like, oh yeah, the barbarian always wore red, so he's gonna wear red now. I don't know, maybe. All right. Well, anything else we want to say about Pathfinder Quest or about the Wizard Quest Pack?
If you if you want to give an advice, go and check yourself, see if you
Yeah.
like it.
See what you think. See if I'm totally full of it. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
because you could dismiss everything I said easily. You could just say, listen, this guy doesn't know Pathfinder. He doesn't get it. It's not for him. It's like, okay, 100%. I don't care.
but I have enough experience on miniatures games
Mhm.
of the kind I like, so I know that this is not for me. But I am sure somebody would like it. There's people that would not like my kind of miniature. That is
Yeah,
the beauty, okay, of the market. We have the choice.
lots of choices. Lots of choices. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, SuQuest, I don't like the fact that you've got to assemble everything. I mean, you could say the same thing about Warhammer. It's like it takes so long to get to the actual game because by then you're just dying. You're just like, oh, it took me a whole year to put this together. Now finally I can play it. Finally found somebody to play. HeroQuest, you're just like, okay, it's ready. I'm just waiting. All I need is the players. I don't have to wait for the players. I can just play it on the app. Like, okay. So how impatient are you? But yeah, SuQuest, you got to assemble the stuff, and it's just you open it up. I mean, according to the videos, and it's just bags and bags of stuff. And the style, I was like, I don't know if I like the style, but in some ways, I like that style better than some of the modern stuff. But I guess you just kind of, yeah, you just pick a design that you like, and it kind of appeals to you. What about this, Kurgan? Gold says, when people ask what is HeroQuest, some circles, a normal response is it's like D&D but simpler, even though HeroQuest is not the D&D brand whatsoever. Yeah, what's your answer?
My answer.
Well, I was wondering what Gold's answer is, but sure, let's get your answer, Bohemius. Let's get your answer.
Is it D&D? Well, it's not the modern D&D. We could have said maybe years ago at the beginning. Okay, with second edition Dungeons and Dragons. There's we can call it D&D because they all the stereotypes are there, all the archetypes are there.
Hmm.
And but it's a board game. It born to fight the boredom of Monopoly, Risk. Those games they were they were the only games that the people play in that period.
Yeah, the party games, the
Well,
family games. We had a lot
yeah,
of
people.
educational games, but yeah, HeroQuest was like totally unique. Like we had nothing like that. Even though other games did
Yeah,
exist like that, but I just didn't know about them. I mean, they weren't at the store.
but
Yeah.
but it exactly, but it was the first one, very first, that hit the stores.
Hmm.
of this dungeon crawler. So it was everybody had the possibility to taste a little bit of the hobby
Yeah.
and take it in the way they want. They play it like a board game, like you love, with the miniature not painted, but the people that then proceed and say continue uh, their passion in the hobby. They paint them all. They cannot stand having the miniature not
Unpainted, yeah.
painted.
Yeah. Well, when they
Hmm.
make every piece gray, it's like, okay, you got to paint it. It's just too drab, too boring. But yeah, the original set, you had the nice bright
Yeah,
red heroes and the
yeah.
green
But
orcs, and yeah,
was great the fact that they paint them the plastic in different colors. That
yeah.
was
Well, it was something
uh,
we were used to. I mean, Candyland, you had the four gingerbread men, but there was a red one, a green one, a blue one, and a yellow one. We could have painted them to
exactly.
look like actual gingerbread men, but we didn't. We didn't think to do that. It was just like, no, that's just what it is. I'm blue, you're red. Okay, that's easy to tell
Yeah,
the difference.
yeah. But here also,
Mhm.
that is another broken rule. All the heroes are the same color.
Yeah,
Normally, you have
that's true.
the green, the yellow, the blue.
That's true. Well, yeah, some of those other games like Talisman, they were all different colors, so you knew. Of
Hmm.
course, they might
Blood
all be
Bowl,
the.
the first Blood Bowl, I believe they were printed in two different plastic colors. The team,
Ah,
but
yeah.
and you decided to paint it or not.
The heroes are all red because they're working together. There's no blue team. There's only the red
Oh
team.
yeah,
Yeah. And you can tell what oh, well the dwarf
yeah,
is the little one, the barbarian's the big
yeah,
guy with the huge sword. So,
yes. But the box is all decorated with painted miniatures all
yeah.
around.
Yeah. Well, especially the European version. They're like, "Hey, it could look like this if you want to." Um,
Exactly.
the version
And
I
was
grew
a
up with was a
pain trying to make them look like this.
yeah. Well, you had multiple examples. You could look at the cover and say, okay, here's one version. You can look at the cards and here's another. It's like, okay, do I want to make the Chaos Warrior like metallic or do I want to make him red? Like, there's more than one choice here. Is Dwarf have dark
Well,
skin or does he have light skin? I mean, you can
that
look for
that
all of
that's why then you enter in the lore or whatever, and you see
them.
actually the Chaos Warrior are different color depending
Different cult they're part of. Yeah,
on the deity
right, right.
they
Different
follow.
chaos god that
Hmm.
he's following. So it's like, okay, so he should be
Yeah,
these colors. Yeah, I remember seeing the poster, and it's like the Chaos Warrior was like red and green. It's like, what is this? Is this the Christmas exchange already? Like, I don't understand. But yeah, it made sense to somebody. Like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll study
yeah.
that
But
very carefully.
Red and Green was I believe second edition or
Uh,
whatever, where all the Chaos Warrior were looking more or less the same.
oh, okay. Well, wasn't it third edition though? 1989, 87, something like that.
Third edition, they start separating. Well, no, wait. Second
Might have
edition.
been same time.
I try to remember because I remember the miniatures and the miniature of the greater demon. They existed since the second edition. They were
Okay.
small, but they existed. So the different monster for the chaos gods existed, and that we have one of them is inside the box. HeroQuest.
Oh yeah, the
There is a modified.
Bloodthirster,
Hmm.
the
The
Bloodthirster,
Bloodthirster exactly that miniature.
Balrog,
Well,
a demon of
it
the
was a
ancient world.
modular miniature that
Okay.
exists in metal.
Uh-huh. I've seen
Okay.
pictures of it. I've seen pictures of it. Yeah.
Yes, but it was modular because you can have different heads, different
Oh.
weapons. I don't remember, maybe different wings, but I'm not sure 100% for the wings.
Hmm.
It's been a while that I don't see the schematics.
Usually in the pictures they assemble it to look like the gargoyle, so I don't get to see all that other stuff.
Yes, they choose specific pieces that but you can actually do assemble exactly the same as they are. But you know how many people you bought HeroQuest just to get that miniature to use it in their whatever games.
See, so it works both ways. Some people bought the other games to put in HeroQuest, other people bought HeroQuest to put in their other games. Yeah,
Oh yeah, if you buy in that period, if you buy multiple boxes of HeroQuest, you have an army of orcs,
there you go.
an army of undead,
Yep.
an army of chaos.
Yeah. Well, Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord, you got even more. But see,
Yeah,
that's why we wanted them. We were just like, I want a skeleton army. Yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm never gonna run out of monsters. I can field a whole like a room full of them if I want to.
oh,
Yeah.
but back then it was nice because we're original and they were accepting because they were seated at miniature. They were
Mhm.
accepted into tournaments. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah, you
that's why those Warhammer boxes can still continue to sell at places like Target or Barnes and Noble because yeah, it's its own self-contained game, but if you're just looking for extra miniatures, like you're always on the hunt for more. Oh, there's 5 Space Marines in that box. I can get that. It'll be cheaper than if I
yeah,
buy the big box and I can paint those and I'll sell the cardboard back on eBay. Yeah.
yeah.
I get the other one.
To
It's
do
got
a
some
unit of
Tyranids in it. Yeah.
to do a unit of orcs in Warhammer Fantasy, you need 25 orcs. So
You need a lot of orcs. Yeah, see, I
with
picked the
with
orc as
five
my army. Why
five
was I
rank.
so foolish? The most expensive army. But I had so many orcs already. I was like, I can do it. And I borrowed orcs from my brother-in-law, so which I've returned now, by the way. He has them back. And he was like, "Why did you decorate the bases?" And I was like, "Okay, look, it's just rubber cement and glitter. If you want to remove it, it's not that tough. It can be done." I didn't even glue the figures down to the bases. You can just like pull it right off, and then you can just scrape it off, and then put it back. Put whatever you want on it. It's fine. Yep, that glitter got everywhere, but it was worth it. I suppose I could have done like a clear coat over the top of the glitter. Yeah,
The glitter bomb.
it was the
The army.
spores. Well, on every when we if you watch, you can't quite tell from watching the videos from Gen Con at the Warhammer 40K tournament, but all of my orcs were basically bleeding glitter all over the battlefield, and all of his Dark Angels were bleeding like little pebbles because he used it was super glue on the bases, and then he put railroad sand, so these little pebbles, these little tiny pebbles, but like little ones that like fall off. They were like too loose or something because we just did it all the night before. Uh, he didn't have all his bases done. It's like, no, no, the bases have to be covered. Like they can't just be plain. So it's like, oh, quick, crap, let's do it. So we had all these bases, but yeah, so we left our mark. So just like, what is all this rubble laying around? It was great though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My friend Brian, his wife is making an army, and I think he asked me about the glitter again. It's like, oh, okay, she liked the glitter. She's gonna use it. I got a lot of compliments about it because it looked really good in the light. It's just some black glitter, some large grain black glitter. Yep. Well, I think we're kind of towards the end. So, Bohemius, do you have any secret knowledge about the Wizard Quest pack, or is this going to be a total surprise? Have you kept yourself spoiler free?
No, no, you are the keeper of all the secrets.
All the secrets. Okay. Yeah. So I think you'll get to see probably quite a bit from HeroQuest Italia, and then you'll get to see my take on things, and then you'll get to see Cristobal's take on things, and LaGuardia de Morcar. So you'll get all kinds of angles. And I'm curious to see like, okay, should I watch? I'm sure I'll watch the Grog, and I don't know if I'll use the subtitles. Well, it'll be live, so I can't. So I'll just have to figure it out from the context what they're saying, unless they speak some English occasionally. But that influence my presentation, and then will my presentation influence Christabel's presentation? It's like, oh, he did that. Don't do that. Do something different.
I don't know. I see Cristobal. Well, he did like a little short, and was teasing that he was preparing a quest. So to
He might
so probably
record it.
you already done it.
Yeah, he may have.
You already probably.
Yeah, he may have. I just love
Mhm.
his presentation. Hola, que tal? Hola, que po. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
know? HeroQuest.
is
Yeah. Yeah, his voice, his presentation, his hat, his beard. It's all part of the persona. He I'm sure he'll put on a good show, whatever he does. So, but yeah, I picture him sitting around the table with his friends and playing, and it'll be a different presentation than ours. Ours will be interactive. I was kind of concerned. I'm thinking like, okay, we usually have like three people show up, at least three people, sometimes more, and getting everybody to be able to participate because I don't want to just have you guys sitting on the sidelines like, okay, well, you have one wizard and everybody else can just watch. It's like, no, no, the wizard's going to have bodyguards. He's going to have attendants. He's going to have apprentices, friends, something. So it'll be still be a group quest. But I'm also remembering when we played Mage of the Mirror and we were playing the solo quests with a group of four. I think we had five at one point. But I mean, it's like the quest was easy at that point. It's like, oh, okay. What was once impossible is now just a breeze. So I had to like add extra stuff. I had to add deleted stuff to kind of make
yeah.
it a little more challenging so it wasn't just, yeah, a breeze. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with having an easy quest, but that might set the
No,
wrong impression for
look,
people because if you think back to
it's
Frozen Horror, Mage of the Mirror, those were not easy. They were very hard. They were too
if
hard.
if you want to, for example, there's a home rule because in whatever quest, okay,
Hmm.
people play alone, and sometimes they want to do like a party of two, or a party of six, or a party of eight. So they just modify the number of monsters they came out in every room, and
Oh yeah,
in his balance. Okay, and
I have a plan. I
it,
do.
it's very balanced. So, for example, you roll 1d6 of monster in one room. If you have two heroes, you roll 1d3 of monsters. So you have half of the
Uh,
quantity of monster. But if you have six people, you roll 1d6 plus 1d3. So in HeroQuest, you can do something similar. For example, there's two goblin. There's an extra person. You add a goblin will not make a huge
yeah,
difference.
yeah, that's true.
Or you upgrade one of the goblin to an orc, whatever. But there's a way anyway to make it slightly more.
Scalable.
But something that you do every way anyway, because
Mhm.
I see you feeling you love to fill the room with wolves.
Yes, I definitely did. Well, and that was an easy one because with the Mage of the Mirror with the drafts, I saw that um, Catherine's original version had way too many monsters, way too many powerful monsters. She had multiple wolves, 10 body point ogres right at the start. It was like they removed those, but like as you guys were
Yeah,
playing, I'm just like, nah, I'll just put them back because you can handle it.
no, but
You've got enough
you see,
firepower. Yeah.
I remember I was there with Jacer. We were only two heroes,
Hmm.
and we made it even if we had double of the monsters because that is the that is exactly uh, how the leveling works. If you
Hmm.
have the character that is powered up, have extra dice of attack, extra dice of defense,
Hmm.
a lot of potion, it can solve the situation.
Oh yeah.
It's not unfair. Put extra monster.
Hmm.
You have to keep it more balanced
Yeah.
for the group.
Yep.
So even if we were two, but with double of the monster, like for eight character, we made it
Yeah.
because
You
Mhm.
still had a fight on your hands. Still had to fight for your life.
Yes. Okay, was tough. I'm not saying it was easy, but we made it.
Yeah. But it was the right kind of difficulty as opposed to this just feels unfair. This or it's
Mhm.
just a grind. Like, oh yeah, this guy has like 70 body points. Like, okay, we're gonna be here all day. We're not gonna even fight one guy.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. They were normal monsters, just double the quantity. And yeah,
Well, and
we
I
have also help
hmm,
from home, from people sending us extra potions.
yes, I had to contend with that. I've always been interested in the dynamic of it because it feels so. I mean, how do you know who's going to show up that day. It might be people that want to see you guys fail, so they're helping me out, helping Zargon out, or they might just want you guys to win, and so they're gonna. But I can't remember now what quest it was, or what expansion it was. It might have no, it was the Frozen Horror, I think, or it might have been Mage of the Mirror. It was one of them where you guys were
I,
one room away from the door to finish the quest, and they
uh-huh.
kept adding monsters, and it's just like, what is going on? Like you guys
Yeah.
are like you can't leave. I mean, I could have just had you run, like, oh, just run away. But it's like, nope, we got to stay and fight these guys. Like, okay, how long is this the video game where they just respawn forever and oh, you're supposed to leave, you're supposed to flee, you know? So, but yeah, it's like, okay, well, that's what those people wanted that night, so let's just roll with it. Let's just go. Let's see what happens. Yeah, but I'm just waiting for the day when I'm just gonna have to like, call for help. Is there anybody in the chat who can change the situation? No? Okay, no reprieve. Go for it. Yeah, yeah, but I
Yeah,
think I think it'll be good.
but it's but it's good because you involve everybody in playing. So it's not just us there.
Right.
Okay, for us, it's like an extra challenge. Somebody's throwing a potion. Okay, I'm happy.
Yep.
I'm keeping it because I know that sooner or later somebody's going to summon a five chaos warrior.
Yep. Well, and some people have gotten even more into it. You probably have seen some of it. Some of it's behind
Hmm.
happens behind the scenes. People actually want to add like story stuff that's happening. Like they'll
Yeah.
name the character and they'll say, okay, and if they do this, this other thing's gonna happen. It's like, oh, okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So then it's like my challenge is, okay, I'll take your idea and how do I like fold that in so it kind of like makes sense. Like could be something as simple as like, Gorebag shows up, and then you kill him easily. Like, oh, okay. Who was that crazy upstart guy? Like, who knows? But usually it's more elaborate than that. Like people will coordinate and say, okay, this guy appears, this guy appears, this guy appears. Oh, but then you get a potion. So it's like, okay, he thinks you need that to survive. Otherwise, you're going to be toasted.
Really, really. I believe last week,
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, in the Horde of the Ogre in the Ogre Horde, I think we had the maximum number of monsters I've ever seen in the stream on the table. We had ogres and dead everywhere.
Yep,
I,
yep. Well, the
I was panicking.
the pit of chaos was revealed very soon, so it's like, well,
Hmm.
why let it go to waste? I'm as we're talking, I have my table full of miniatures. I'm not going to pull out the camera, but I'm looking at the ogre archer, orc archer from Against the Ogre Horde remake, and comparing him to
Yes,
the abomination from the Mythic box, and they're different colors. The
yes,
plastic, the orcs are darker color. Could just be a different
yeah.
batch, but yeah, they definitely have tweaked the colors as time has gone on. Do you think the wizards are going to be gray in the next one?
If I had to guess the color of the wizard, let's. Uh,
What if they were hot
you
pink?
know,
They just totally fool us.
they're going to be. Would be cool if they are all different colors.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
You
Yeah,
have
they could
a
do that.
white one for the necromancer, green for the orc,
Hmm.
gray for the for they will invent something for the fourth one.
Maybe the high mage will be
Um,
of many colors, like Saruman, in his colorful form.
I
It'll
I don't know.
be like a
I
swirl of plastic. Be kind of
I
weird.
don't know.
Hmm.
Could be the color of the heroes. One of them. Who knows?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end, the high mage, they were all like the humanists of those mages, they were like they betrayed the realm and joined Zargon. So I don't know.
Well, that was a plot point. I was reading the Marvel Winter Special. I thought I'd read it once, but I don't think I ever read it
Hmm.
from cover to cover. And I found so many like misspellings and typos in it. But it was really interesting because it was clearly like advertising. Like it's advertising HeroQuest, it's advertising Citadel miniatures, Citadel paints, advertising the computer
Yes.
game and all. But it was like you had Skullmar going on a tour of like Morkar's forces, and the Chaos Dwarf is like showing him around, and he has to keep coming
Hmm.
up with these different titles to refer to him, and it's like he used the same one twice, and he's like, one more slip up like that, and you're gonna be dead, and like, oh no, but I mean, you had all these like references, so we found out like the rat ogres are green, just like the Famir, and they were just like little details like that. And they talked about the chaos plague that they were putting in the water supply to like kill the barbarians, and just like interesting little details. But one of the things they talked about, I'm starting to like forget now the point I was making. What were we talking about right before I started talking about that storyline, Marvel Winter Special?
You ask me which color would they were they're going
Oh,
to be
no, no,
the
I know what it was. They were saying, okay, like which hero are you going to choose? Well, the barbarians, okay, their ranks have thinned because of the chaos plague. Wizards, there aren't as many wizards around because a lot of them have joined chaos, either because
yeah.
they're evil, they were tempted, or they thought this is the only way. Like we're not going to survive. Like we have to join with Saruman, just like join with Sauron, like Saruman said. And actually, in the Lord of the Rings itself, it's kind of interesting because when Saruman is trying to convince Gandalf to join, he actually like has this whole speech about it, and it's like you're not sure if okay, is he lying? Is he lying to himself, or he really means it? It's like okay, well, actually, we'll survive, and who knows? Maybe we could like stab him in the back when he isn't looking, basically, So
Yeah.
we might have to be evil for a while, but then we could like turn it around. And Gandalf's like, no way, it's never gonna work. And in the movie, they simplified. When did Saruman, exchange wisdom for madness? Yeah, so chosen the path of
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah. I always loved the miniature anyway of the high mage. I really always thought it was like the evolution of the elf of sorry of the wizard,
Yeah, it is cool looking.
because
It
he
is
looked
cool
like
looking. Yeah, it's got
looked
a
like the old version of the wizard. In HeroQuest, he looked like almost an apprentice, wizard
Oh
apprentice.
yeah. He's a young, clean shaven, long haired.
Yeah,
He's fresh out of the Wizard
like,
Academy. Yeah.
yeah. And then you have this old man with the staff, with the moon, with the long beard, the pointy hat. It's perfect.
More of a
It's
well,
their perfect evolution.
yeah, it's more of a an advanced Hero Quest. He had a beard and he had a fancier outfit and all this stuff. But yeah, so just looking at Yield In,
But
I think you can see this. Yeah, just
but
talk
Warhammer Quest
art
was
from.
based. Warhammer Quest is based on the lore of Warhammer deeply. So that one is actually uh, you see it look more like because you can paint it in a couple of different way, because there's the different school of magic
Hmm.
in, in advanced hero quest. So it could be bright magic, could be I think jade and amethyst, if I'm not
Sounds right.
wrong. No,
Amber.
yes,
Yeah, different gem
am
types. Yeah.
yes. Okay, at the end, Ember and Jade are both druid. Okay, one more on the life and nature, the other one animal and and let's say control of the weather. So he's
Oh yeah.
there. You go. There you go. Look at him.
I,
It's
I,
perfect.
I
He's
was
the perfect wizard.
Yep, I was fascinated. So I was looking at Eilden long before I knew as much about HeroQuest as I do now, but or Warhammer. I mean, and saw all these mods that people had made, and these are many years old now. These are like vintage mods now.
Mhm.
But people they adapted stuff from other games. You can see clearly they used like miniatures and ideas from other games. But those different schools of magic. Okay, so here you can just tell me how accurate this is. So you got amber magic, amethyst magic, bright magic,
Yeah, yeah.
celestial.
These are
Yeah,
they're all the College of Magic in Warhammer. Yes, they adapted. I think I
golden,
downloaded this
gray.
set of cards because I want to read them. Yes.
Yeah, they're good ideas, but and I've looked at a
Mm,
lot of like Warhammer products where they're very plain like this. It just has the title and maybe just some really basic graphics. Like I want the paintings. I want the detailed
okay.
drawings and
But for example,
jade magic.
Ice Magic is more HeroQuest.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, because
definitely is more. Yeah.
it is yes, illusion also the same HeroQuest because these one are like part of other school of magic. So the real school of magic are older. So illusory is well, HeroQuest. Jade is Warhammer.
Mhm. Light magic,
Light magic is Warhammer.
necromancy,
Necromancy is Warhammer.
sorcery. Well, sorcery is pretty
Sorcery
generic.
is very generic.
Yeah.
It
Magic. Oh
could be
no, he's
for
using magic.
water spell, of course.
Yeah.
You
Some
know
of
like
these are just
very well.
adaptations of or conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Famir
Premier
spells.
spell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I learned about that. So the female Famirs are the like witches, but yeah, necromancy. I think there was Skaven magic in here somewhere too. There's the evil wizard deck, which I love using.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made fake cards, and see each of these authors, you can tell like okay, they had their own system. So if you take the cards out of their system and use it in your system, it might not make as much sense. But they wanted to share it, and it's out there, and it's been out there. And unfortunately, some people have printed these and sold them, which I think is really crappy because I'm sure these authors didn't see a
Yeah.
dime.
Too bad. Too bad.
People got
That is
greedy.
yes, is a source of great inspiration. You can
Hmm.
read so many ideas made
Yeah.
by talented people and people with passion.
But very little of these things I've just taken and used straight. I've almost always changed them a bit to suit
Yeah.
what I use. Now the Evil Wizard deck, I mean, I follow it pretty closely to how Sheng described it, but I mean, like he didn't envision the mechanic that we use with the stream with people buying the cards. And I'm sure it was never
Yeah.
meant to be combined with the combat cards. And I added a couple cards there that weren't there originally. You remember there's a few in the deck because mine are red. There's a couple that are white,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, where did those come from? Well, it's because I printed out a set for my brother, and I printed some that were like they had mistakes, and so I got mad and I printed them out again. But of course, I just had
Mm-hmm.
extras, so I put them back into my deck. It's like, okay, well, there's a greater chance now that I might draw this one or this one. But I mean, I've never used the Skaven spells, but of course we haven't had any real Skaven encounters. But we could in the future. The halls of Durang Dal are still a possibility.
Maybe this weekend.
Well, I'm thinking for, I mean, there's always anything's possible, but I think if we finish the promo quest, I think we'll probably just do Dread on the Horizon because we've never done that on the stream from Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really short one.
Yeah.
And I played it with Brian and added a little, it's a little surprise. So maybe I'll do that on the stream. if we have time, like if we run out of things to do. But yeah, I've printed out a lot of this stuff and just never used it. It's just sat on my shelf. But there might be an opportunity to dust it off and use it. Okay, that's Tilda Swinton as the White Witch from Narnia, right there. Yeah, I thought I saw one that had like Elsa from Frozen, but I think that's in the forums because this was 2009. Oh, 2014. Okay, I was wrong. They did it. They did update somewhat. No, 2008, 2009 was when it switched over from Dwayne Hagen's in to Ye Olde Inn. 2014. Wow. So when I started getting active, it had already been 3 years since they'd updated the page. So you could call this a dead site, but the forums are still active. All right, we got any more comments? Colors of Wizard Minis. Yes. HeroQuest was a gateway into other GW games, of which I have spent way too much on. And yet, I think there's a lot of players like me who just kind of drifted away and did other things, and then just remembered, oh yeah, HeroQuest. And then you come back and you're like, whoa, people are doing all this crazy stuff with it. Wait, and there's all these expansions I didn't know about, and what? There are other versions with different rules. Oh, and it's coming back. What? They're remaking it. What? And then you're trying to catch up with all that stuff, and it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. New people are discovering it every day. But I guess if somebody asked me the question, how would you compare D&D to uh, HeroQuest? I would say they're completely different. I would say they give you an experience. Like if the experience you want is to take on the persona of a fantasy hero and go to battle against monsters with swords and magic. Like that's what it does. Both games do that, but they do it in different ways. I think the description of D&D as part technical simulation and part like storytelling is accurate. That's how you're meant to play the game. Whereas HeroQuest is much more like a board game where you take your turn, you roll your dice, you move around the room, you fight the guy with the dice, and then you draw a card for the treasure and you repeat, repeat, repeat. And there's a little bit of story, but that's mostly what it is. But that's on the surface. Dungeons and Dragons can be whatever you want it to be. You can modify it to anything. Same thing with HeroQuest. So you could make both games exactly the same if you wanted to, but it would require work to do that. So if you wanted to pare D&D down into just a dungeon crawling miniatures game, you could do that. If you wanted HeroQuest to be a full-fledged RPG with like storytelling and simulation and stuff, you could do that. But it requires work on your part, effort to develop it. If you're just playing it as it is on the page or in the box, that's what it is. Wise analysis of game types. So yeah, in a way, you could say, I don't know, what would it be? Maybe D&D is the simulation, and HeroQuest is the arcade game.
Yeah.
Because like you could play baseball, let's say, or any sport, and one version of the game is a very technical, statistic based, realism, and that appeals to a certain type of person. And then you have another one where it's just like arcade action. You're just hitting the buttons really fast and you're having a great time and the graphics are amazing and you know, one of them is like NBA 2K and the other one's NBA Jam. Maybe. I don't know. The analogies kind of break down, but it's kind of like what you're in the mood for. So maybe uh, Pathfinder Quest fills that niche where, yeah, you've been playing Pathfinder, but you're not in the mood for the usual thing. You want to play some other, you want to still be in the same world with the same characters, but you want to experience it a different way. Just like you could be playing the D&D video game. You could be playing Shadow over Mastara, and it's like, okay, this is great, I'm still D&Ding, but it's a different kind of D&D that I'm used to. And I guess if HeroQuest had more versions or more media, you could be experiencing it that way. But right now, it's just what it is. I mean, there's novels, but I mean, they're vintage novels. You'd have to track them down. There's jigsaw puzzles. Uh, but yeah, there was basically choose your own adventure books, and then there was the quests, and there was a computer game, but the computer game is just simulating the board game. But that's basically all you got right now. Yeah. But I think it's interesting to think about D&D as being adapted from a war game, a tabletop war game. But instead of controlling a big army, now you're just controlling just a few people. And now those troops matter a lot more. Like, okay, I really care if this one guy gets killed versus, oh, you lost one soldier out of the division. Okay, well, if I still win the battle, that's all that matters. But it becomes much more personal. And then you start to add little quirks and details and little story bits. And I suppose in war games, it's a big deal if like you win a battle and it's like, okay, these troops survived, these veterans go on to the next campaign. But when an individual character goes on, it's like even more meaningful.
You never play Mordheim, right? Now they are playing 40K. I think you will appreciate a game of.
What's it called?
It's
Mordheim?
Mordheim. Mordheim,
I've heard
yes,
of it. I don't
is
know what it.
practically you played Kill Team, right?
Yeah, I played Kill Team. I played 40K. So
Hmm.
that's what I've
Okay,
done. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Mordheim is older. It's but it's more or less like Kill Team fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and all the warband, okay, follow the same structure. You have your heroes. Every warband have their own characters, and
Hmm.
then you have the henchmen.
Okay.
Okay, so it's practically playing more or less HeroQuest, but is a skirmish game. So it's a PvP game. You
Yeah.
have to do some exploring of the map.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
But you have to fight the other warband.
yeah, and well, and I'll let me say this too. There were multiple versions of Kill Team at Gen Con, the three times I've been. So one that was like on the battlefield. So it looked like 40K until you got close and you're like, oh, okay, it's a different game. But the one we played was, I guess, technically called the Dungeon Crawl. So um, yeah, it'd be like you had these square rooms and you breach the door and then you were either a rogue trader or a space marine or I don't know, Ogrin or Psyker. There were different versions of it, but it would always be like keep your guy alive, try to get the treasure. You clear a room and then you go into the next room. You had your choice. You go this way or that way, and in the rooms would be different colors to designate like the difficulty. So if you take this path, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. But there was always a goal, like okay, but if you get to this far room, there's this big like monster that you got to fight. It's like oh man, if we ever get there, but most of us never made it that far. Uh, but you could just keep on going and okay, pay another ticket and you keep on playing. So it was like an arcade game. You put another quarter, another token into the machine to try to continue. Or it's like you would get wiped out, but it's like, oh, but you can save all the treasure that you found. So when you start the next time, you still have those artifacts with you. So it's like, okay, I have a better gun this time. Oh, I have a better armor. Maybe I can survive a little bit longer. So yeah, but I looked up the dungeon, like the walls that were just kind of like pieced together, and it's like $130. It's like wow, okay. So that's why it's fun to play it at the convention because you don't have to buy all the stuff and things.
Yes.
It's all ready to go
Yeah,
for you.
but playing on squares or hexagon or completely free just with a ruler.
Yeah,
Okay,
they gave you a little
to
measuring stick basically.
is exactly the same. You have just limitation of the square to make the game faster. You don't have to
Yeah,
every There's a reason
Square is
why
one
every
inch, one inch,
normally
one inch.
every square is an inch.
Yeah.
Okay, that way
You move 3 inches, well, I move
you
three
cannot
squares. Yeah.
you can easily use the same statistics from a game to another. The scale is the same. So,
Right.
but it's just
The illusion.
simplified with
Yeah.
the squares.
Yeah. People have
You don't
fun
have
with their tape
complete
measures.
free movement.
Hmm.
You don't have complete free movement, but at the end, you the uh, the game resolved in the same way.
Yep. Yeah, well, Fire Team, I've never played it yet, but I mean, when I bought that for the miniatures, I mean, that uses hexagons. So it's like, okay, you move through the hexagons and whatever.
but yes, but it's the same at the end.
Hmm.
It's,
People have their
I
preferences,
remember I
definitely.
remember when Kill Team came out in an article in White Dwarf, and everybody started playing this Kill Team. Was not a commercial game. Was just one of those games that come out on White Dwarf.
Ah,
It become everybody dropped Warhammer to play Kill Team, so they
wow.
had
They took on
to
a
do the
license.
commercial. Yeah,
So
they
it's
were not getting any money.
wow. Yeah, they weren't commercializing it, exploiting it enough. Yeah, because
Yeah,
White Dwarf, I could just imagine if I had been a fan of the franchise back then, I really would have gotten into it because I would have been like, oh, I can't wait till this magazine gets here and I can see all these ideas they have, stuff that I can like photocopy and cut out and incorporate into my game. People send in stuff, and they had HeroQuest stuff in there too. And some of it is just like, it's not that great. And other stuff, it's like, oh, that's a really awesome idea. I can't wait to try that out. Some of it seemed kind of half baked, but yeah, kind of losing my voice here. Kind of half baked, but it could
yeah.
inspire. It could inspire you. It can inspire you to do your own thing.
But yes, a lot of inspiration comes from all these games too. Everybody want to see. I want to see all the heroes from Mordheim. I want to see them in HeroQuest.
There
And
we go.
that's why everybody. Mm,
I want to see the Space Crusade Marines in HeroQuest. I want to see the HeroQuest guys in Space Crusade.
yeah.
Yep,
Yes,
yep, definitely.
I remember it was an entire expansion for Talisman with Space Marine.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
With yeah, it was like portals or something. Now I don't remember any because I seen it. I've seen it, but I
Oh,
never played it.
maybe
And
you told me about this before because that's starting to sound familiar. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these undiscovered games out there. Well, I definitely need to play Talisman one of these times. And
I mean,
it
it's,
it's one of these games. I think though when I played Sword and Skull on the stream, I quickly realized there was kind of an issue. Like if I didn't have a completely handheld camera, like you land on a square and there's text, and then it's like, okay, I want to zoom in to see what the text is so the people at home can see what it is. But it's tricky to do that when you only have one camera, or if your camera's on like a tripod or something. Whereas with HeroQuest, you don't have to worry about that because the only things you're showing to the camera are the dice or the cards, whereas everything else can just be where it is. It's not like you land on a square and you have to like look at the square and go, okay, it says this, like Monopoly. It tells you something on the square. But I think Talisman does that too. Like the squares have information, so
yes,
I have to come up with a different
yes,
setup if I'm gonna stream it. I'll probably
you
play it
could
offline
yes you
first.
could like do a scan or a photo of that square and
Put it in.
put just a photo
Yeah.
visible
Zoom.
in a picture in the side.
Yeah. I guess I could play the computer game, but then I'd have to buy the computer game, and it's like I've already got the game, so I want to use the physical game. But I'd probably play it offline
No,
first just to kind of get the hang of it. The one thing one modification, well, let's see, I have the fifth edition, got it autographed by Rob. from Avalon Hill, and I have the promo dice. So the regular dice are black with gold, and then there's gold with black. So it's the same. But then I spray painted all of the coins like shiny gold, so they're shiny instead of just that dull plastic gold color. But I just knew I was going to do that anyway. But I still haven't painted any of the miniatures, and I told myself I was going to paint them because several of them I thought would make good HeroQuest miniatures, like the wizard, the
They
dwarf.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
hmm
They
Even
fit perfectly in
yep,
HeroQuest.
yep. There's even some specific HeroQuest adventures. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy right there would be that character. Not spoiling too much. So, well, anyway,
Yeah, you can use them as NPCs or monster or
exactly.
bosses,
Yep.
whatever.
Alternate heroes could be anything. Yeah, because they're all just kind of like a light gray color, kind of generic. I forget. Did Talisman give you the rubber boots to put on the? I don't think they did. Not like Betrayal where they gave you the like color
No,
bases. They
no,
couldn't.
no, they didn't.
Yeah,
They could have put it,
they
yes.
could have. They must have just assumed that the characters are so distinct that it's not going to be a problem, or you're just going to paint it anyway. So who cares? But yeah, to me, having a box of gray is like paint me, paint me. Something's wrong. It's not finished yet. They arrived unpainted. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
but
Well, I'm fading away fast here. If StrangeBus was here, he would have made me take a 10-minute break, and we would have gone on another hour. But I'm exhausted. So, any closing thoughts? Oh, hey, Joe Kosher. Thanks for coming. I'm excited about this weekend. I'm definitely gonna have to like get some rest before we do everything because I'm gonna just be going crazy, crazy down to my favorite spot. What did you think of the disco intro? Adding the
disco,
HeroQuest
HeroQuest
fever.
fever.
I had such a good time putting
Get
that
me
together.
going.
Yep. And I was like, okay, I don't want to put like a lot of innuendo in this, but I don't know. Disco songs just kind of are that way. It's just like it kind of ended up that way.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
So I have some other ideas. I'm not going to spoil them here, but Bohemius has seen some or heard some samples, so you can tell me when I've gone too far, or don't.
How? What? Are you having fun?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
So you're not going too far.
Okay. Well, and it's funny because I'll release the stuff and people are like, "What? What is this?" And it's like, well, I mean, it's for fun. Maybe someday I'll have an album of just HeroQuest inspired songs, like every genre of music. Yep, good stuff. All right. Well, I think with that, I'll wrap up the stream. Thanks for joining us. I know we is very HeroQuest heavy, but um, that was what I was in the mood for. So I think next Tuesday we should be back on schedule. We'll see if StrangeBus can join us, of course, and we'll just see who we can raid. RantCast.